We're live. Take this out. Hello, everybody. Sorry, apologies for the other live stream. I did not update anything, and I'm going to update it right now. However, I did test my device yesterday. It was fine. Again, apologies for the other live stream. Yeah. And when stuff like that happens, you know what I automatically think? I'm being infiltrated, right? Okay, again, what I was saying pertaining to, and hopefully everybody can hear me now, but what I was saying pertaining to Karmelo Anthory, and then I'll edit this, is authentication, authentication, authentication. Forensically sound, data, valid. The data has to be valid, okay? Validity of the data integrity has to be present, all right? So, after I do all these updates and after I update the device I was utilizing, if you have any questions, quite naturally, I'll come back and answer them at a later time. Also, I'll come back and show that I can do it from here, but I'm not going to. I really want to focus on the electronic, because this is my cell phone. But I want to focus on the electronic device that I was utilizing. However, I am going to be consistent straight across the board. Authentication. Hey. Okay, I don't know who that is. That Cha-Cha? Hey, Cha-Cha. I'm going to be consistent across the board. Authentication, forensically sound, data integrity. It does not change, and it is up to you. When you have an attorney, to make sure when it's coming to electronically stored information, that whatever is being presented in the court, the law is, and look at my hair, which is why I had that band on my head. Excuse me, apologies everyone. My hair is doing what it does, turning into an afro. Or swelling up. It is what it is. I love my texture, but trying to get these edges down. Apologies. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Oh, cha-cha-cha. Yeah, so when it comes to admissibility in the court of law, it has to be authenticated. Okay? And SoCal. So some of you people are, again, going to be introduced to the block party. I don't have time for foolishness, shenanigans, and games. And if you want to play, you go play with some kids on the playground. This is not the channel to play under no uncertain terms at any time for any reason. Should any adult be in the comment section as a distraction? Okay? That's not what we're doing. So, when it comes to these cases, and when it comes to people's life, we're serious. It's a serious matter. And when I'm presenting information pertaining to digital forensics, I did not spend 4 years obtaining an undergrad degree in computer forensics and 2.5+ years to get a master's degree in assurance security and digital forensics to come to YouTube to play. Nor would I let anyone play my time. All right. So now that that's out of the way, let's go back to Karmelo Anthory. When it is related to, even if it's not Karmelo Anthory, whoever it is, you have to make sure, especially in the day and era where there is artificial intelligence and a host of deep fakes, and you can do this stuff so easily, that whatever is being presented has been authenticated. It has to be authenticated to be admissible in a court of law. Now, the judges will let it ride if the attorneys do not object. Okay? If you get an attorney who's not going to raise objections when it comes to ESI or electronic evidence or things that are supposed to be presented as electronic evidence, that's on you and your attorney. However, this is for educational purpose. You as a person, whoever you're hiring, should you get in a situation where you need to, and they are going to present some electronically stored information, you have to make sure it is forensically sound copies that are being presented. You have to make sure whatever is being presented has been authenticated. Ride your attorneys about that. Okay? That is up for you and your attorney to do. Because oftentimes they'll let stuff go and slide. And the judge is not, okay, let me put it this way. The judge is not supposed to sit there and say, you just presented video footage that has not been authenticated. The judge is not supposed to tell you that. It's up for the attorney to raise the objections, right? And so what we saw was what was on the police website. And again, I have no knowledge of whether or not they presented this in court. But when I did conducted my metadata extractions using a industry standard forensic tool, the digital signatures that should have been there that would verify it had been authenticated were missing. The digital signatures and certificates were not there. That's why we saw false in the signature section. First signature section was completely blank. Okay? Now, you going out the front? Oh, okay. This stuff can be unplugged because I'm not even on this anymore. I'm on my cell phone now. I have to make sure, I have to check my sound on this. I have to reinstall it. And thank you to the moderators on this channel. Excuse me, I'm scratching my phone in my hand. I don't have it on a tripod. Going back to what I was saying, when it comes to electronically stored information, it is up to your attorney to raise objections. It is up to you to make sure your attorney are raising objections. Unfortunately, because oftentimes when it comes to digital forensics, some attorneys just don't understand it, and some judges don't understand it either. When it comes to electronic discovery and digital evidence. And so, again, this is what I went to college for, and we had to learn the law that relate to ESI. Now, what I wanted to get to also was the duty to preserve, but we'll get to that at a later date because I'm going to be systematic in what I say. a duty to preserve when they know it's going to court. I'm going to say Rule 26, Rule 36, Rule 37. When it comes to federal rules of evidence, that pertains to electronically stored information, and when it pertains to digital evidence. Oh, the sound is good now, Fire Mama. I'm on my cell phone now. I'll go back through my electronic device and update the sound. Like I said, I had not made any updates to the device I was utilizing, and so it could be because I didn't update like I was supposed to. Like I tell everybody, update your device if you want it to function properly. You need to make sure you're doing the critical updates. So I'll go back and update. Okay, so let's go back over what we went over. When it comes to any case, not just Karmelo Anthory case, you want to make sure it's a forensically sound copy. You want to make sure the copies of any evidence have been authenticated. Oh, okay, Fire Mama, because I did not look, I have not looked. So you said if prosecutors took digital evidence and created a slideshow on their own, that explains why some videos do not have timestamps on some of the video. Fire Mama, it also could be the way the ESI was collected. It could be the way it was retrieved, stored, and maintained. All of that matters. That's why I stated in the disclaimer, I didn't collect the electronically stored information, retrieve, store, or maintain it. I did not handle it. So I cannot speak to whoever did handle it. I can't speak to their skill set. But I can go after the fact, use some tools to see what they did. Okay. So, yeah, but I hadn't looked at any thing pertaining to this case other than news. Yes, yes, yes. The PDF royalty was the red flag in the PDF that's on the website was the absence of the digital signatures. That's what was the red flag. When it said signature, ID signature false, that was the red flag. And then when the ID signature was missing, that was the red flag, because in those sections it should have been present to represent that it had been authenticated. But again, like I said, that PDF was made with Norco, what was that? That was in there. Nokia, Noco device. Remember, they made that up with a device. It told us right there inside metadata how they generated that PDF, what day it was created on. So, yes, royalty, but those were red flags to answer your questions. Again, it is up to attorneys to challenge this, and it is up to you as a person to challenge this. Disclaimer again, I don't know if this is what they presented in court, but if they did present this in court, it is problematic because opposing counsel should have objected based on the fact that the electronic information had not been authenticated. It is up to attorney to raise these questions. They have to challenge. And when the experts get up there that are supposed to come from my field, they have to raise objections and challenge that too. Where's the chain of custody for? Like, if I was an attorney, and I'm not, but if I was an attorney and it came to electronic evidence, you're not getting ready to slide this stuff past me, because I'm going to be like, where's the chain of custody? I want to see how you retrieved the data, how you stored it, how it was being maintained. I'm going to want data policies. I want to know the entire process. You don't have to prove it. Prove this is authentic. Prove it's authentic copies. So, yep, that stuff has to be proven. It's supposed to be proven. You need me to fill one of those? Or you got it? Oh, you got it? Okay. Excuse me, everyone. I'm sorry. Good morning, Patricia, and good morning, Nazara, and to everyone else in the bushes and in the chat. Again, I'm going to say it again before I get off here. Authentication is vital. Authentication is to digital forensics what blood is to the human body. Okay? That's my analogy. No, I'm not from New York. I'm from Michigan. So, authentication, forensically sound copies. Having a forensically sound copy is like having the heart inside the body. That's the analogy I'm gonna give, because without heart inside your body, you're not gonna live, right? Without blood inside your body, you're not gonna live, right? So authenticity, forensically sound, data integrity, all of those are vital when it comes to electronically stored information. Everything needs to be challenged. You have got to prove that these things were authenticated. The chain of custody, which was the first thing I was looking for, was present. It was not there. The chain of custody for the electronically stored information. I wanted that. I didn't see it. A lot going on in here today. I don't know who that person is. I'll be answering the phone for you. Oh, Fire Mom, you said that's why you had me look at it. You knew something was off with what was being presented. And like I said, I have not extracted the metadata from the videos yet. That was just the photos that they put up there, but you just kind of had a feeling when you were looking at the photos and looking at the file that something was off, was a little off when they put it up there in the exhibit section. Yeah, again, I don't know if this is what they presented to the court, so I'm going to keep saying that as a disclaimer. Now, when I can get my hands on transcripts and some, oh no, a fly did not just pass me. Okay, excuse me everyone, I can't stand flies, they nasty. So let me get that fly up out of here. So back to this, when things are being presented in court, we already know over here, duty to preserve. When you know you're getting ready to go to court, or there's a possibility you go into court, according to federal law, you're supposed to preserve the electronically stored evidence. Or if it's written, you're supposed to preserve that. That's the law. You can't be deleting things. You're not supposed to delete things, and if you delete them intentionally and you know you're going to court and it's not there for the opposing counsel to have, you're supposed to be reprimanded for that. You can be sanctioned for that. Right? Zuber Lake versus, no, it was, Zuber Lake versus, let me see. We go to the case. Go to the case that I'm looking for. Let me just throw some. Oh yeah, Zuber Lake was one of them, but who was he going against? We got Frey versus Graney Transportation Services Incorporated from 2006. We have Hendrix Semiconductor Incorporated versus Rambus Incorporated from 2006. That was another case. All of these pertains to forensic. We had I want to get to this specific one. And I don't know how I can forget who Zuber Lake was versing, because that one I use all the time. Another one, we have Arthur Anderson LLP versus the United States of America. That was 2005. And I'm still trying to find who Zuber Lake was versing. I should know that at the top of my head. Let's see. I have my doctoral stuff in my mind. I have other stuff going on. We also had payment card interchange fee and merchant discount antitrust litigation in 2007. All of this is pertaining to a duty to preserve an electronic data, like the opposing counsel know when they are supposed to, preserve the electronically stored information or the information, because you know you're going to court. It is reasonable to believe that you're going to court. Like when I think it is Austin Metcalf is the one that transpired on the school properties or wherever property he was at on. It was up to them to preserve anything coming from a video footage, any type of footage, with the possibility of knowing that you're going to court, because you're going to be held liable. He died on your premises. All electronically stored information pertaining from that day that captured the incident on original hard drives should have been preserved. The law. It was reasonable to believe that they were going to court, and they should have preserved it appropriately. Not saying that they did not. However, the responsibility lies on them in terms of preservation. Then I'll get to one more, because I definitely want to get to this. Oh, you're working on your master's in psychology? Congratulations. Oh, you're definitely using that for your homework this week? Okay, Evo May, you came back in. Hey, how you doing? You catching up again? Okay, here it is. So simple. So it's Zuber Lake versus UBS Warburg LLC, and that was in 2003 in the Southern District of New York. And I use that one all the time. I just had a brain freeze on who they have went to court, who they were contending with in court. And it was talking about the trigger date on a duty to preserve electronically stored information or electronic information. And so, all of that was argued then, and it was concluded that when you reasonably believe that you're going to go to court, you have to preserve all of that, that you cannot just go in and destroy the data, because everybody is supposed to have data policies, data destruction policies, all that in place. But when you're going to court, you're not supposed to go in and destroy the electronic information or data, and you're on your way to court. Okay, again, Rule 26, Rule 36, Rule 37, all of that, Federal Rules of Evidence, that's where that falls underneath. Oh, you said I'm such an inspiration. Thank you. Thank you, Royalty. I'll be going through my doc program like, oh, I know, but I'm like, oh, Lord Jesus. Okay. I was like, I will be happy when I'm done with this doctorate's program. Yeah, this is a lot of work. Whole lot of work. A lot of reading, a lot of writing, a lot of thinking, a lot of evaluating, a lot of synthesizing, a lot of analyzing. I don't know how it is for other universities, but my board, they don't play, and they sit on every other board. Like the professor that I just finished up with taking this doctoral course that I earned a B+ in. I was 2.5 points away from an A-. She sits on every board. She sits on the board of International Information Technology. She sits on the board of computer science. She sits on the board of other sciences. She sits on the board of artificial intelligence. Like, she sit on every board. So I just already knew, because I had her for another course, that you're not going to get any okey doke past her. Like, it's going to have to be quality. And so going back to what I was saying, which was the reason for this live stream, is that when it's coming to electronically stored information, we can say this all together because I've been saying it since Kanika Jenkins and Kendra Johnson. Authentication of anything that's being presented digitally. Forensically sound. Data integrity. It's not going to change. Now, again, authentication is critical because AI is generating deep fakes. You can generate deep fakes with AI. You can generate everything. You can sit up there, modify, alter, delete, and tamper with just about anything because of the rapid advancements of artificial intelligence. So it is up to you and your attorney to make sure if opposing counsel is submitting anything, any type of discovery that pertains to electronic discovery or digital evidence or electronics, that it's been authenticated, that it is forensically sound. The chain of custody needs to be there to prove, to verify along the way. Okay? Now, having said that, sorry about the other electronic device, everybody. I need to update my device. I always update my cell phone, but my other device the other device that I was utilizing needs to be updated apparently, because I already know I haven't done any updates on that one, other than scanning for viruses. So I'm gonna make sure that that's updated, And again, I'm waiting for approval to utilize updated versions of digital forensic tools. And we will look at the video number 2 from Collin County, Texas website, the police website, once I get access to those particular forensic tools, okay? Then I'll go ahead and extract the metadata from the video footage and we can take a look at that. All right, having said that, you all have a pleasant evening. Uh-oh, and I'm shaky. And a pleasant night, because I'm tired of holding my cell phone in my hand. And I didn't put it on my tripod because the tripod is over there. I'm sitting right here and the air is right there, okay? All right, Fire Mama. So thank you, Fire Mama, Royalty, Evo May, and to the rest of the people in the chat. You all remember to stay actively engaged and stay vigilant. And remember, authenticity, chain of custody, and forensically sound. Bye-bye, everybody. Stay vigilant.